Well, hello out there.
Hey.
All you hungry listeners.
Hey, Bear.
So,
Wait, is that trademarked?
It's not trademarked,
But we're going to get infringement.
No, probably not.
Well, no one's going to know what you're talking about. So let's just go ahead and unpack it.
Well, it's an inside joke for us, and I had no clue that other people were saying it on podcasts.
That's an in joke for you guys?
Yeah.
What's it? Explain that. Well, I fix your camera real quick.
Okay. Okay, as you fix the camera, listen. So we're on this hike, right? And, we're thinking it's going to be a little casual leisure hike. You think about, I'm going to go in my backyard and hike through the woods. Okay, that's a normal hike. That's what we're thinking this is going to be. So we go with some friends. They're like, yeah, this isn't really an advanced hike. We're like, okay, cool, whatever. But you need a backpack. Like, okay, well, I got a backpack. No, you need a pack back. You know, like the ones that they go around your waist.
Words, it's more serious.
Yeah. I'm like, okay, this is starting to become not so much a hike through my backyard woods. Because I don't use a backpack or a backpack.
Yeah.
Pack back.
Okay.
Fanny
Anyways, we're moving on.
Yeah, it comes with a built-in fanny pack.
Nice.
It's got a little zip pocket right here.
Beautiful.
Anyways, but my whole point is we're doing this whole thing. It's a lot harder than you think it is. I mean, it's 6
miles.
6 hour trek up a mountain the whole way.
Okay.
It's 1 yard. It's 1 vertical yard, 1 vertical mile up.
Okay.
So if you think you're doing that in 5 hours, right? And then you get up top and you stay the night because it's such a long hike. And then you sleep there in this cabin, blah, 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 and you go all the way back down the next day. But while we're there, you actually see a lot of people, all walks of life on this trail. I mean, you see some guys, like a group of like 5 guys that are like running it, like literally.
Like trail runners.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's hardcore. I mean, they're like, I don't know how they don't break ankles, legs, arms, fall off the side of the mountain.
Trail running is a thing. So
it's a big deal. Like it was hardcore.
It was.
Much respect to trail runners.
Yeah.
If anybody's a trail runner out there, much respect to you.
Yep.
All the rest of you, no respect.
Yeah.
But so the trail running was cool. Other people are like fully decked out in gear that goes over their head with like 2 ski poles, and they're like, climbing it.
Yeah.
But
it was strenuous. It was strenuous.
It was fun.
And it was a lot of fun. So we went with a group from our church that do hiking. I mean, they're, I guess you could say professional hiker, not professional, but I mean, they were a little bit more advanced than we were. And we're getting to the point here. One of the ladies that were kind of leading, she said, watch out for bears or whatever. And then she would just say, hey, bear.
She says,
like,
to make
you have
noise.
to keep talking to make noise.
Yeah.
And the phrase was, hey, bear.
Yep.
And we were like, so are we being friendly with the bears?
We're just randomly talking, hour goes by and no one's really saying anything because we're focused on getting up this rock.
Right.
All of a sudden you just hear, hey, bear.
What? So we now have adopted that phrase in our house, and Jason randomly just says, hey, bear. So
I love it.
We needed to unpack that a little bit, as we do with most of the side comments that he says. So
I like it.
I live in my head. I love it. It's crazy in this head.
So welcome to the final episode of the first season of the Spoofed Podcast.
Wait, this is final?
Can we get a little bit of like celebration?
Cue the celebration?
Cue the confetti.
Yeah, I actually could. I think I have
Cue
a
the
button.
confetti.
Yeah.
That might be. We don't pay for that.
So
I don't want to clean that up.
is that part of this package?
Yeah. The pod package.
You don't get extra sounds in your package?
So we wanted to come today because, first of all, this is like a time to reflect over the season. Mm-hmm. Also, I mean, if you're watching, I have Lightbox merch on.
Yeah.
Over the course of this year, and it has officially been a year, Lightbox has come to life in a way that we had hoped it would. Mm-hmm. And it just really has. So I want to take some time to reflect on that. And then we'll talk about kind of some next steps and what's next for us, and then future seasons and that kind of thing. So anything you want to add, my good sir?
No, I think you do. I know, but through this whole podcast, we've always talked about celebrating the highs and the lows.
Yeah.
I mean, and this is a high. I mean, you're going into a storm and you're coming out of one? Is that what?
So there's three positions. You're going into a storm, you're coming out of one, or you're about to go into one.
Wait, wasn't going into one and about to go into one the same
Oh,
thing?
hold on. You're in one.
You're in one.
You're going in one.
getting
You're
out
in
of
one, or you're coming out of one. There you go.
There you go. I mean, well, either way, we're just celebrating those highs and those lows. And I mean, this is a high. So, I mean, it's not as good of a high if you don't celebrate it.
Right.
Because the low's coming,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
And who's to say what the low is? And not to be a Debbie Downer or depressor here.
Pessimist here.
Yeah, I mean,
Goodness
dang,
gracious.
Pessimist. I eat fish.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Bad
So
joke.
we're just going to, it's not even, okay.
Okay.
So let's just
As
go.
a chef, I should have made that comment.
Just move on.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, we're just celebrating that high because we are. The dream, the life is coming. It's coming true, right? And so like Lightbox is a truck. It's a physical thing. It's pouring ice cream. It's got events booked.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And we sat here a year ago to this day almost and said, where do we begin?
Yeah.
You know, and so just through that, how God has really provided, there's just the provision of God, and just trusting that, and and going from massaging to feet rub to all that other stuff. I mean, barbecue to feet rub, and donuts to sushi and whatever, all these things,
all the
and
things.
just kind of like clearing our path as we go, and just trusting, it kind of is come to life, and this is really cool, and so it should be celebrated. So cue the celebration.
So, so yeah, exactly. So I think that sort of the main theme of this whole thing is stay the course, because we have throughout the year, we look back on some of the episodes, real estate was a big, when we started this podcast, I was going into that field and into that career and had those thoughts and had that as like a sideways path. I was trying to get this going and then also that going, and we had to just stay the course. And the course was a family founded food brand. That was exactly what we knew what we wanted to do, and that wasn't anything that we strayed from. And it also helped us decide, or it helped us make decisions. We had to look through the lens of what is the objective here. And so, thinking about that and thinking about staying the course, there have been sacrifices that have been made along the way, right? Like sacrificing the lucrative career of being a real estate agent. That was something that I really looked forward to.
Because you were so lucrative.
But knowing that was not the goal, right? And then also, I mean, even as recently as 2 weeks ago, Jason had the opportunity. I mean, I'm just going to talk about it.
Shoot.
Okay.
Steal my thunder.
No, I'm not. And I'm going to steal your thunder. I won't like reveal any, stuff that we shouldn't reveal. But up until recently, you had been offered a new job. Okay. We can just say that. So we have our own private chef business, and Jason has clients, and then he was offered to go full time with another client. And
out of the blue, we're trusting it. Like, God, you brought this person to me. Cause like, it's a really big name. It's a big deal. I mean, it's a big pay increase. It's a big everything. And like, God, like, wow, you provided for us. So we did the whole interview process. We trusted God. We went through it. And I was like, why are you even interviewing it? Like, you're already with the family and like, so, they're helping us with Lightbox. Like,
let's explain this really quick. So current client is also our business partner.
Right.
And so, for us, it's like, there's a lot of eggs in this basket,
Yeah.
but God has provided through this whole thing and has really opened up, this relationship.
Yep.
And they have believed in Jason from the beginning. And he has really worked hard to build that relationship and their trust. And, they just want success for Jason.
Right.
And the Russell family, they say.
Us.
Yeah. So from the beginning, they've been very just trusting and just whatever Jason wants to do. And they believe in his talent. And, so anyway, it was a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Like, why would so we've got all this moving on Lightbox. Why would we go over to this,
Right.
other than the fact that it was a lot more money financially, a lot more of, I guess,
I'm waiting to how you put this.
it's a very well-known person.
Yeah.
Okay. So pride played a role in wow, Jason could actually be this chef, this guy.
Yeah.
And so anyway, that played a role, right? But then when we step back to think about what is the goal is to not client climb. The
Right.
goal is to not, be able to brag and say that we're associated with certain people.
But God was providing, and we were listening, and we did. And so,
Correct.
again, because I said everything you just said, you just had to say it for me. That's good. I know I'm not very articulate at times, but I felt like I articulated that very well. Anyways, so yeah, we provided. I mean, we listened to God, and we did the whole interview process. We went through 2 weeks of back and forth and all this.
Right.
And then I got offered the job, and it was just like, okay, now the hard job part is to go back and say, hey, listen, we're out. Not we're out, but like I have this opportunity. I got to move on. Only reason I'm moving on is because it's going to help. It's going to help get
Financially,
Lightbox off the ground.
yeah.
I feel like this is where God's leading us. And we walk away from that, everybody kind of sad and feeling like, oh, here we go. And then my current clients call back and says, all right, we'll match it. We'll do it. Whatever you want. Stay with us. Keep going. And God just but it was so great how God did provide, but it wasn't in the way we thought
Right.
he was going to.
Right.
We can sit here and say, oh, he was doing it this way and I'm following it. But God sees the bigger picture, and
Right.
He doesn't just see the bigger picture in that one thing that's going on. He sees the bigger picture in thousands of things. He's working this from, when I turn 80, if I make it that long, in next year.
No. We act on a micro level and God works on a macro level. And, that has been very evident through this whole thing. And obviously we know that as He's the creator of the universe. However,
Big words.
This-
Macro. I just think of micro machines.
no.
No.
So
Micro machines.
I don't know
No?
what that is. Oh, here we
Let's
go.
let's get a little off track here.
Okay.
Yeah, I like
Stay the course is the name
so
of
micro
this
machines.
episode.
You don't know. No, if anyone's if any senior citizens out there listening like me, micro machines. No, they're like little cars, the little bitty race cars.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's a guy that always in the commercials, he always talk really fast.
Wow.
And it's all it is. It's just Eli. he's just entertaining the
I know.
conversation. I don't really care.
Egging it
Wow. Anyways, somebody out there knows what a micro machine is. It's a dang small little mini car.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Oh, is that okay?
Done. I'm done. You can,
Commercial
and
over.
the floor is yours.
Okay, stay the course. So throughout that decision-making process or decision-making time, we had to look through the lens of what is the objective here, and sacrificing, switching clients and starting a new job and doing all of these things was not going to benefit Lightbox. But so we had to make decisions based on what is going to, in the end, do the best for the goal. So that, is some things that we just had to think through, and so again, staying the course is really kind of the theme of this whole year. I think is we have a goal and we're going to achieve it, right?
And let's be real. I mean,
Yeah.
we're not done. We're just beginning.
Correct.
And so,
Yeah.
there's a lot more. Now we've got to keep it alive.
Yeah.
And got to build it,
Right.
scale it.
I'd
grow it.
like to mention that, and I know that the timing is not lost, but there is a brand that we were following who is local and started with like a cotton candy cart. Not Lucia, who we just had on a couple episodes ago, but
Best cotton candy out there.
But this other brand that we were following that was a mom, and I just sort of really related to her and how artistic she was, and anyway, she had a beautiful business, and she just posted yesterday that she was selling the business, that it was taking too much of her family time. And that stung a little bit because I'm like, man, because looking at the kind of business that we're doing, it is holidays, it is events, it is weekends, and moving into a model that is seasonal.
Yep.
Ice cream seasonal, you have to do things on the shoulder seasons. And those are going to be sacrifices that we're going to have to make in the short term. But to continue to keep the long-term vision alive is going to be really important. So, I respect that brand a lot. And, she had to make a really hard decision. So we, just like you said, going into, a season of not so high, we need to continue to build each other up and remember what this is all for, right? And that is to just pour more light into the world, right? It is not about elevating Hannah and Jason or look at what we can do, look at what we can create, right? Because that in the end is empty and, you're chasing your tail. So yeah, I think that, what's next is important to talk about. So over this year, we've talked about Lightbox. We've gotten it to a place where it's like ready to go. What?
Can we pause this for a second?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I go potty?
Oh,
Yeah.
my word. Are you kidding me?
You
No.
can.
You're
That's fine.
joking.
That's fine. We can do that.
Oh, jeez.
I can just cut. It's fine.
I'm sorry. I can't stop. I gotta go.
Just watch the cable.
I cannot. I'm so chef.
I wasn't worried about bragging. I never was. I'm not a bragger.
Yeah.
I do have to potty a lot though.
Apparently. That happens when you're old.
So you just have to, I know. Nice job.
This guy.
Got him.
No,
Do
got him.
I have to get back in the same?
No, I can move it. Get
Act like
comfy.
it never
Get cozy.
happened. Get
Don't put
cozy.
any pressure on that bladder.
Well, that means I need to get back here again.
All right.
Are you going back there?
Now we're back. And we're back.
I'm sorry. Like
You don't have, he's going to cut it out, so you don't have to.
Down just
Yeah.
a little bit. Just like give it a little.
There we go.
Yeah.
Give it a little hug.
Yeah. Just that's fine.
Hey.
You don't have to touch it, but that's fine. That's great.
Have you ever had anyone so awkward?
Nope.
He said no. I love
great.
you so
No,
much.
I know that you were trying to like fill the space because that's what you're good at. Like you hate dead space when it talks about like talking to somebody. Like you feel like someone always has to be talking, right? You're one
Well,
of
this
those.
is a podcast, so
I know,
like people
but
don't
hold
want
on.
awkward pauses.
I know, but I was waiting.
Sit in
I was
silence.
waiting for some sort of like break in what you were saying to tell because then the whole time I'm trying to listen, I'm like, I gotta go.
Okay. So,
I wanted you to finish your thought. I was trying to be respectful, okay?
well, you could have waited 15 minutes.
Hey, this conversation could go for a while.
Okay.
Like
Good.
this is good.
So, this is good. All
I've got
right.
nothing until 2, so we're good.
We'll carry on until
so-
2. Season
Let's do it.
finale is
That's
usually
right.
2
It's gotta
hours
be a
long,
big
right?
one.
Season finale. Okay.
Part 1,
So
part
now
2.
we're back. Part 1, part 2. So memorable moments. Oh, actually, okay. So we talked. So what's next? Okay. So Lightbox over the course of this year, it was just a concept. It was actually a different logo than we have now. Like it is totally transformed into a living, breathing thing. And so we do have events contracted on the books, paying events.
Yeah.
We have an official soft serve industrial commercial machine.
Heck yeah.
We have our truck that will be ready this weekend. It's a 1967 GMC old milk truck.
P10, Chevy P10, baby. If
Chevy
you know anything
P10.
about Chevy
Okay.
trucks, if anybody
Yeah,
out
so
there,
I don't.
You got it.
okay,
It's all about the P10.
It's a little rat rod. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Kinda
Rat
cool.
rod. So, so the reason why we're also ending this, so speaking of Jason's job and that kind of thing, so he is traveling for the next several weeks with his clients. So he's going to be out. And so we thought this would be a good time for us to pause the podcast and, officially wrap season 1 up with a bow. And then, so I got to get to work, right? So we have events scheduled for Lightbox. The truck will be ready after he is gone. So that means that I got to do this.
Yeah.
She's got to put her big boy pants on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after we leave here, we're going to discuss the parties, talk with the guy who is doing our truck, making sure everything is going to be buttoned up. August 15th is the date in which we should have the truck. The first event is the 19th.
Beautiful.
So nothing like cutting it super close. But yeah, so I mean, what's next is now we actually have to do this business, right?
Yep.
And like I said, just mentioning other brands that we've seen kind of pop up and then move on is a reality that we have to face and something that we have to keep in mind that what is the goal here, and it is not to just have a business that is paying the bills, right? It is to have a lasting legacy, to point to the ultimate source of light, right?
That's right. again, we started this to kind of document our journey and talk about all the things that are going on. And if someone asked me today, like, how do you start an ice cream business? I still don't think I can give them a blueprint.
Podcast.
Yeah, start a podcast. That's right.
Well, what I do think,
I got a guy, right?
Yeah.
He's got the studio.
What I do think we did that was wise is, yes, start this podcast, but publicly say, because we were so convicted that this is what we're doing. This is what we feel led to do. We have this business on paper, and it is, a scalable model, and it is easy. So like, it's not recreating the wheel kind of easy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, super, has a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Can't help you.
Okay. It's not, it's not recreate.
You can't help yourself either. No, I mean, the point I was making.
That's a word.
Innovative.
It's not the most innovative product ever. It's ice cream, right? And we said that we wanted multi-generational, whatever that. So all to say that what I do think that we did well was publicly say, this is what we're going to do. And we're going to hold ourselves accountable each week by talking about what we're doing and how we're working on it. Would you agree?
I would say that, yeah. I mean, but you don't have to start a podcast. You can do anything.
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, somebody said something to me one time, and when I was young in like I was just young in business, young in like, you think it's so transactional. Like when you go buy a stick of gum anymore.
You're so old.
Back in my day, take a penny down to the soda fountain.
I never bought sticks of gum, so I don't know where I even.
I love you.
But when you go buy gum, okay, that comes in a little pack. Like it's like here, it's $2. So like you give them $2 to get your gum. It's not so transactional in building that business. Like it's not just like, hey, what do you do to get this?
Right.
And someone told me when creating the deal, I saw one of my first businesses that we started was Good to Go Meals, and the guy that was helping me kind of like make the deal on how I was going to sell it out. He's like, everything's fair in trading horses. I mean, like back in the day when all you had, you didn't have money, you either traded horses for your cast iron pot or, whatever it is. But like whatever the deal is, it's all fair. I mean, like in that, whatever works for you. So I guess is what I'm saying. Like the sky's the limit, whatever works for you to get it off the ground, but just stay consistent, stay the course, keep your eye on the ball, keep going.
Define the objective. Define what it is. And going back to this idea of the full life framework, which we've kind of put together for our life, is like, what is the mission statement for our life? What is it that we want to see? And I'll go back to the, writing your own obituary, those kinds of things. Those exercises really help put into perspective how I'm going to live my life and what I'm going to spend my time and energy on. Right. And again, we've said this too, being an entrepreneur is a luxury. It is a luxury. There are lots of sacrifices that come with it, but it is a luxury. And so,
did it seem like a luxury when you pay taxes?
Well, yes. I think that, if we had advice to give to our listeners, it would just be define the objectives. What is it that you want to do or want to see for your life from this business or from whatever creative outlet that you want to do? And, going back to the brand that just shut down, I would love to learn from her. How did you make the decision that there were no other, there was no other way to keep the business going other than shut it down? Could you have hired somebody? But what's your objective? If your objective is not to have a lot of cotton candy carts and have a brand that is, producing shelf stable cotton candy or whatever it is, like what is the goal here? And how can we pivot to keep it afloat or keep it alive? All of those decisions come in, to the business. So yeah, I think that staying the course, defining the objectives and, what do you want to see for your life is all important questions,
I think one more to add to that, excuse me, is counting the cost too. Like what's the cost? Like obviously financially, but like time wise, what are you willing to sacrifice? Right. And like really putting that on paper so that when you're sacrificing, you're like, no, I wrote this down. This is part of the deal.
Well, and I think that you and I talked about this, Eli, was what happens if you don't do it?
Right.
Like what is the cost for not doing it,
Right.
and for us, it was deep fulfillment.
Yeah.
We felt we just felt like we were not reaching our full potential if we didn't have a business and a brand, had something to do with food. We could do it with our family, so we had to like work together to figure out, okay, family found a food brand, and put those words together. But we knew that the cost was going to be just lack of fulfillment, if we didn't really figure out what it is that we wanted to do. We had someone ask us, I think this is probably when we were leaving Alabama and that, situation. They're like, if we gave you
Wait, you
a
guys
blank check.
Say it in Alabama dialect.
Alabama. Like that?
Say it in Alabama dialect.
Alabama. I can't.
I don't know. Maybe I'm borderline like being prejudiced here or something.
And there goes all our Alabama listeners.
All of Alabama. Well, but someone asked us if they gave us a blank check, what would we do with it? And what was our answer?
Spend it?
No, we didn't have one. They were like, if we gave you a blank check right now to build a business, start a business, what would you do? Yeah. And we didn't know. And like, that was a problem, right?
Wait,
so
I knew.
Going on a cruise, baby.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why we're together and we help each other make very wise decisions and mature.
Which I'm glad we didn't go on that cruise because then COVID hit. And we all know what happened with cruises and COVID.
Yep.
So anyway, we really had to just kind of get ourselves sharpened and figure out what it is that we wanted to do. So now we got to go do that thing, which will be really interesting. So hopefully we'll have a lot more content coming for the next season.
Stay tuned for season 2.
Yeah. So I think that was kind of all I wanted to review today. What do you think? Y'all, we're fixing to go see this truck.
Yeah.
And we've seen it one time.
Yep.
So it's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest with you. The ice cream machine weighs almost 700 pounds. And the truck is
probably weighs 700 pounds.
The truck is probably the size of this table. Like it is.
No, it's bigger than that.
It's a little, it's a little tiny thing. So there's a lot of logistics and things that have to go into it. But again, it's like, okay, well, we have a truck and we have an ice cream machine. This is not rocket science, right? This is not anything that we are, that hasn't been done before.
Right.
So,
which I kind of think rocket science could be easier because like at least you're all dealing with the same thing essentially, right?
Yeah. It's just people's lives involved.
But I mean, at the same time though, you're surrounding yourself in rocket science, right? Yeah. Just rocket science.
Okay.
Like, so you're
you
getting
just have
to
know one thing.
Yeah. Well, you've got to know all the things within the one thing, right? But with us, it's like, now I've got to like calculate electrical. How do I do that? How much power do I need to run this?
They have to do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what?
So I love that you're trying to simplify rocket science right now.
But then we've got to figure out.
Okay, it's not brain surgery.
But I feel like brain surgery. Okay. Guys, I'm making a point here. Okay, so it's right. You know my point's there. Okay.
There.
No, we want to thank everybody for listening. Thank you for the support. It really has been awesome, and really great to hear. People have gotten some inspiration from this podcast, and hearing how much we've failed has helped other people
feel good about themselves.
Really
We're here to make you feel better.
Well, at least they're failures.
Yeah.
All right. Until next season, stay hungry out there, you listeners, and look forward to Lightbox coming soon.